All right, welcome everybody. It is really, really exciting that you have joined us here. A lot of you will be catching the replay. And I always start all my events by stating that I am humbly and gratefully living in the ancestral lands of the Cherokee and Catawba peoples of North Carolina. I live just outside of Asheville. Uh, and for those who are just getting to know me, a little bit about my background. I'm the founder and director of a nonprofit called the Great Mother Love Way. I consider myself a Gaia mystic. It's actually been confirmed by several Native American elders. My close rapport with Mother Gaia, I'm going through a quiet phase right now, but I have a couple books out of communications with her. Uh, and Mother Gaia told me to call myself a high priestess, Gaia high priestess, and I'm a healer and an author. And I lead the Great Mother Love Way year-long course. And I also organize global grids of ceremonies to help bring more healing into our troubled earth. I've been doing that since 2016, the biggest one being the Thousand Goddesses Gathering Global Grid. And I offer different webinars on topics related to the inherent sacredness of our planet. And it's just so amazing to have Pam here because I am super passionate, like a lot of us, I think, are, about helping people understand, you know, one, the existence of Mother Gaia, and two, the sentience of all the sacred seen and unseen ones, whom we share our amazingly beautiful and glorious planet with. So I'm gonna share Pam's video, video bio. Pam Montgomery is an herbalist, author, international teacher, earth elder, a new paradigm thinker who has passionately embraced her role as a spokesperson for the green beings and has been investigating plants and their intelligent spiritual nature for more than 4 decades. She is the author of 3 books, including Co-Creating with Nature, Healing the Wound of Separation, and the highly acclaimed Plant Spirit Healing, a guide to working with plant conscious. I really want to, I hope you guys can see this. I read this book cover to cover. It's so rich. There's so much in it. There's so much wisdom. Pam, I'm in awe of how well you delve into the science and the spirituality and your gifts. So a little bit more about Pam. I do really encourage everyone to get that book. So Pam teaches internationally and virtually on plant initiation, spiritual ecology, and co-creative partnership with nature. She is the founder of the Organization of Nature Evolutionaries, or ONE, ONE, and was a founding board member of the United Plant Savers. So welcome, Pam. And before I launch into any questions or anything, I want to say a little housekeeping. Please keep your questions to the end. It's just really helpful for us to not have any interruptions. As Pam was just mentioning, for those who came in early, there's a whole lot we want to cover in this short time period. And that includes keeping the chat box quiet because that's distracting for everybody, actually, including us. But we'll have Q&A at the end, so rest assured. And Pam, I want to share that before we start with the questions, I could feel the spiritual presence of the plant spirits holding me as I was working on planning this event. So I'm actually feeling emotional saying this too. It's interesting what's coming forward. The amount of gentle love and support that they brought forward to bring this forward. And I know they're here right now. I've been feeling energies building. So I just want to put a thank you out to all the plants and the devas and the nature spirits and all others in the spiritual realms holding us in sacred space right now during this event. So thank you to them. Okay, so
Well,
Pam,
thank you for mentioning them because they're they're the main boogies, really. They're the stars of the show.
they're the stars. I like the way you word that. They're the main boogies. You clearly have a very close rapport with these boogies.
We
So
do.
my first question is, did you always communicate easily with plants starting from when you were a child? Or is this something that you learned as you were an adult?
Well, the answer to that, I mean, children, generally speaking, are pretty wide open to other dimensional realities and to the spirit world. But I had the fortune, great fortune, as a kid. I had a lovely grandmother who was a real plant person. And I spent my grandparents lived in the eastern hills of Kentucky, so Appalachian Mountains of Kentucky. And I spent a good portion of my summers there. And she was this amazing human being that I just love dearly. And but what happened with her that really sunk in deeply at a very early age was that she talked to her plants. And in the South, you have your main meal at noontime. So she spent most of her morning and early afternoon in the kitchen. And then she would come outside and she'd start working with all of her plants and she'd be picking and pruning it up, but she talked constantly. And I went up to her one time and I said, Granny, who are you talking to? And she said, in her very Kentucky accent, she said, well, plants are just like people. They need friends too. And so basically, she was really communicated with them. And so I got that message super early on that, oh, of
Mm.
course, this is what you do. You talk.
Mhm.
You are in communication. You have a relationship with these plant beings and other beings as well. And I remember so distinctly there's pawpaw trees and pawpaws are a big thing and especially in that part of the world. And there was this pawpaw tree and the branches kind of hung down a bit and I could get under there as a little child and it was like another whole world underneath the pawpaw tree and nobody knew I was there. I could kind of hide away in there and I would have an entire afternoon of um I don't know what you want to call it, but adventures under the pawpaw tree with the plants and I would make I would make little tea things and I would, and I would serve all the little beings that lived under the pawpaw tree. And so we would have like little, I don't know what you want to call them, soirees underneath the pawpaw
Parties,
parties.
tea
Yeah.
parties.
Yeah, tea parties. And so then, I got older and kind of got involved in the herbal world. And I thought everybody did this. And then I came to find out, no, actually, a lot of people start rolling their eyeballs to the backside of their head when I started talking about talking to plants. And so it was this really like, I, I it was stunning to me that everybody didn't do this as when I got older. So to answer your
Yeah.
question, yes, but it was because I think, I mean, I do remember having maybe I don't know which came first. My grandmother like kind of instilling that in me or whether it actually was happening and then it just kind of like gave me even another push to,
Mm.
the plants always have your
Mm.
backs. Anyway,
Yes, yes.
I would say yes. I've been talking to plants for a very long time. So,
But you're still talking about, you're saying talking to, it's really talking with, because it sounds like you've been hearing them talk back to you pretty
oh,
clearly from early
oh yeah.
on.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And really what's happened now after all these years, I mean, even as there's a lot of adult years in this time too now, is that it's gotten to the point where it's not like something separate. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I'm gonna go sit with this tree now, and now I'm gonna go do this, and we're gonna have this conversation. We're gonna do this. It's kind of like it's it just is happening all the time,
All the
really.
time,
Yeah,
regardless of whether you're in your house or probably when you're driving too.
yeah.
It's fascinating.
It's
I love
it's
it. I love it.
yeah. I mean, the
You're
other
a
day,
role model. Go ahead.
well, it's it's just lots of years of it's like, you've got these friends that become your beloveds. I mean, really, that's the level at which that happens. And so just think about that. I mean, if you're with a girlfriend or a best friend, I mean, you easily talk and share together. It's just easy and it
Mhm.
flows and it's the same with the plants because they become
Yeah.
your beloveds. And so it's just this easy
Well,
flow.
And I
So,
wanted to ask about the beloveds. I mean, we have so much we want to get over, but just going out or being with our houseplants and opening our hearts to them and receiving them on that level. We're all meant to be within this web of love and very conscious of it and living from our hearts within it. But anyway, I want to get to the next question because it's a big one. Uh, the title that you gave me for this, you know, uh, our spiritual evolution is being guided by the plants. It's big. So, what does spiritual symbiosis with plants mean?
okay. So the whole symbiotic thing with plants, I mean, it's on every level. It's on every single, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. We are symbiotically related to the plants. We'll talk about this, the spiritual part of it. I mean, we could talk like all afternoon about all aspects, but keep
Yeah,
it simple. I mean, I'll say to everybody, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for plants. Hopefully everybody knows that you wouldn't be sitting here breathing, because all oxygen comes from plants, trees, and sea vegetables, all of it. So you wouldn't have your breath if it wasn't for plants. And you don't make
yeah,
tissue from sunlight, they do. So they make tissue, which then, the leaves and their stalks and their flowers and all of that, which then has starches and proteins and fats and all of that. Then you eat that or eat an animal that ate it. So it's all your food, it's all your oxygen, it's all of your tissue. That's just on a physical level. Okay, just to give that as the groundwork here.
right, right,
So, on a spiritual level, okay, here's the other piece that you need to know is that plants have always preceded their animal counterparts in evolution, always, since day one. That's the way it's gone down. So, for example, angiosperms, which are flowering plants with reproductive organs, they're inside the flowers. They're not separate. Um, Evolved before mammals. So mammal would be the animal counterpart because they have internal reproductive organs. So now what is the evolution right now? What's happening? So I've been thinking about this since about the 60s, I would say, at least since the 60s, 1960s. There was a huge explosion during that time period of being with plants in a different kind of way and working with plants that open doors of perception and able to enter into other dimensional realities. And so psychotropic plants is what I'm referring to. And then there was this a big explosion after that in working with flower essences, which Dr. Bach from England was the first person to start to bring those forward, which means there's no chemical constituents whatsoever in any essences, flower essences or plant essences. It's strictly the vibratory resonance of the plant that gets stored in water. And then you ingest that. And then the next thing that came along was working with plant spirits, which I did quite a bit of and I wrote a whole book about it. And that you don't even have to ingest plants at all. It's receiving the vibratory resonance of the plant that then you identify in your body as it lives inside your body. And once you identify that, then you can be in this co-creative partnership with the plants. And then now it continues to move forward. So what this means is the plants are evolving, and they are evolving to a level of and then sharing that with us, because that's what they do. They share basically everything with us. They really do. And so I have to look at that and say, okay, so that means, which is very exciting. This is a very exciting time to be alive. What that means is they're preceding us. That means we're coming right up behind them. We are our next evolution. So here we come within this arena of We're going to call it spiritual evolution. You can call it raising of consciousness. You can, whatever words you want to put to it. But basically, it's like taking it to the next place here where we ideally stop destroying each other and the planet. I think that's going to be a big part of it. And so this is a super exciting time to be alive. And so another piece to this, which I know you want to know about, is the plant initiations. And that's the next level, is that what these plants are doing is, initiation in the old days in a tribal culture was when the young people came into their maturity and took up their place within the tribe, and which helped make the tribe intact because the young people were prepared to be part of the tribal milieu. And here we are, cultures full of uninitiated adults, which means we don't have a clue in all of our diversity. We don't have a clue what it means to live sanely within the collective where we can all live here together and thrive in all of our diversity. So, what the plants are doing right now is they're taking on the role of the elder, because many of the elders, tribally speaking, there's very few elders that are initiating young ones into the tribe still left on the planet. They're gone. They've passed on.
Right,
So,
right.
in the plant's evolution, their next evolution is to take on the role of the elder and to initiate us, all of us, into what it means to be truly human, living sanely, key word, within the collective. Now imagine that if we could all be initiated to the point at which we could understand and accept and be adaptable to be within this collective. This, I'm calling it the collective. I'm calling the big world here of humans. And we could do this in a way that all life could thrive. That would change things pretty dramatically. And this is what the plants are doing right now. So, what's happening is they are asking people like myself, and there's others that are being trained out there to do this facilitation. To facilitate, I'm doing 3 days, facilitate 3-day plant initiations. And the plant, whoever it is, right now I'm working with Motherwort, uh, are the initiators, not me, not me. I'm just the facilitator. I'm just the one that gets it together and makes suggestions about how we might want to be working with the plant. But the plant comes in and initiates, and the plant lets me know who's going to be the initiator for the next year. I don't choose it. I don't choose it. I wait to see who's
Mm,
going to be the initiator. This year, it's Motherwort. And I put it out there early on in the year, and I usually do two dates with one plant. They both immediately filled up. They just filled up right away. And I went
yeah.
to Motherwort. I was like, oh gosh, geez. And they both are full and there's a waiting list. And Motherwort was like, oh, don't you turn anybody away. And I was like, uh-huh. Okay, so I added a third one, which is coming up next weekend. The third one. So the message here to me is the plants are turning up the volume. They're like, we got to get you all initiated here real quick. So come on, let's go. And so it's just and what's coming through in these initiations is mind-blowing. I mean, transforming people's lives, spontaneous healings. Um, it's quite phenomenal. And it's not,
Hmm,
it's not me, it's the plant doing this.
right,
I'm
right.
just providing the opportunity for people to be able to connect with the plant in this way. So, Mayor, I must
So let
say,
me,
this is exciting.
no, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying this is exciting. This is good.
Yeah,
This is the
and
good news.
the good news, we need the
Yeah,
good news, that's for
we
sure.
need good news right now. This is
So,
the good news.
so you mentioned something in one of your recent talks that I listened to about the plants are responding differently to people because you are very observant, and witness people that you're working with through these retreats and probably personal work in your courses. But they're actually reaching out to us more, kind of as a collective. Am I saying this right? Because I think this is really, really an important point to make. Um, for anybody who lives on the planet who may not be able to participate in one of your initiations or one of the other beautiful initiations that, other people are leading along these realms. Uh, so would you speak to that?
Well, what's happening is, I mean, pretty much what they've been doing all along is healing old trauma wounds. And what came super strongly last year with lavender, I got the great, wonderful opportunity to be in Provence when the lavender was blooming, and I did a plant initiation with lavender, which was fabulous. And lavender, I want to know what things mean. So like when people say, "Oh, lavender's really calming," and PLP, and I spent some time with lavender. I was like, I need to spend some time with lavender before I go to France and all that. And lavender was like, "Oh yeah, I'm all about like, bringing, internal peace." And I'm like, "Internal peace? What do you mean? What's that look like?
Hmm.
What?" What do you mean? I'm trying to stop reading the news and have some internal peace, but what are you talking about here?
Hello. Yeah.
What are you talking about? So basically, throughout that initiation, what happened was that lavender was really helping, which a lot of the other plants also, but lavender had a different kind of twist on it, which was that, okay, so we've got all this old stuff. All this old stuff, I mean, that you spend 20 years in therapy to try to take care of. Um, and and it's a part of who we are. It's not going to get miraculously whisked away. But we have been spending enormous amounts of energy on all the old trauma and healing the old trauma. So what the plants are doing now is done. Done with that. Again, it's not miraculously whisked away. It's still part of who you are and makes up who you are, but you don't have to spend so much time on it. So the time that has been spent on old stuff is really over. Those days are over. And the shift, which is what lavender brought, is like all of that energy now shifts to becoming all you possibly can be. So your energy goes towards that and not this, because we're done. We don't need to do that
Hmm.
old stuff anymore. We're at a stage in our evolution, in our development on the planet right now where we really need to get on with it. And getting on with it is living to your full potential, being all you could possibly can be. So the plants are really, and lavender just brought it forward big time. And I was like, oh, this is what's happening now. Okay. I'm definitely down for this one. This sounds good. Okay. And the other piece is healing the collective. It's been so much about personal healing, and now it's starting to shift to healing the collective and living to your full potential, putting your energy in that way. So it's all the isms within the cultures and within the collective are the plants are helping to heal those now. So sexism, ageism, genderism, whatever all the isms are, it's starting to
So
be healed.
uh, this is so powerful. And when you say healing the collective, the plants are reaching out to people regardless of who they are and where they are. All we need to do is tune into them, open our hearts to them. And I do want to add, and I'll put the link in there in a moment, that you have this, free webinar, 3-session webinar on how to develop plant communication skills. Because again, I'm thinking about like in a broader way. It gives me great hope to think that the plants are putting out a resonance, an energetic field that is healing the collective because the whole collective is not going to be able to participate in your initiations. I wish they would. I wish, I need to do another one with you. I did that one with you. You were so kind to invite me a couple of years ago. Uh, it's just, this is absolutely remarkable. I mean, I know the energies are shifting a lot on the planet and rising, and there's a lot of drama, trauma in the human realms, but I love learning about this aspect of the energy shifting where it's the plants contributing.
Well, the plants, I mean, they have the long view. They've been around for a
Yeah.
very long time. We're talking billions of years. And so they really do have the long view. And they're not going anywhere. That's for sure. And they're really working hard to make sure we don't go anywhere. But, we kind of have to like help out a little bit in that department as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
So
Big
so
time.
and so so the plants are like, come on, I got your back. Here and the plants don't lie to you, they don't betray you, they don't they want you to succeed. They want you to succeed. And so in a way, we just kind of have to like stop. That's what the whole healing the old trauma thing is. We got to stop the internal monologue of warring on ourselves. You're not this and you're not that and you're not this enough and blah 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 and blah blah blah. That whole monologue has to stop. And so that's what
Yeah.
the plants are helping us to do, to shift our what is it that we're telling ourselves day in and day out. That monologue is shifting to something that is life-giving and to help us, like I said before, live to our full potential. So, and like you say, it's in the field. All of this that the work that the plants are doing, it's in the field, and the field, it gets bigger and bigger all the time. And so right now, it's gonna start in a couple months, beginning of September. Another colleague of mine who lives in the UK, she and I are doing a plant spirit initiation facilitator training. So we're
Oh,
training because
great.
that's plants said to me, okay, you got to get more, this initiation's got to get out there more. And I'm like, I'm one person. How much more can I already do? I'm doing a lot
Right.
already. And they're like, well, then you need to train some people. And I was like, oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
at the
Train the
lavender
trainer.
initiation, Emma and I got together. I said, are you getting the same message from the plants? And she said, actually, yeah. So she and I are hooked up, and we have people from all over the globe that are coming to this training, which is going to start soon. And so, yeah, we're working to get facilitators out.
Fantastic.
But
Thank
you're right.
you.
Not everybody across this globe is going to participate in an initiation. I mean, maybe on in the dream time, maybe, but what I'm seeing is that the touches that we're receiving from nature, and since plants and trees and sea vegetables make up about 80% of the natural world, they're predominant, is that we're receiving these touches all the time. And people are
Yeah.
starting to say, oh, geez, oh, wow. I just received that. Let me think. So they're starting to, I think that what's happened is that we've fallen into this deep amnesia. We've just forgotten. It's not that it's not all here. It's here because we're a part of nature too. We are so
Hmm.
symbiotically related to these plants. I mean, they are our nature kin, like totally. They're like ancient ancestors is who the plants are.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
They're
really came from them.
ancestors,
We
big
really
time.
did. And
Yeah.
so what's happening is people are starting to wake up and go, oh, I actually do remember the language of the plants. So that's what's happening. And I feel like it's really exciting. And I know some people are going to say, "Oh my gosh, but look what's going on the planet." I realize that. But as we mostly know, is like, the pendulum has to swing all the way out here to this extreme in order for it to kind of come back to the balance point. So there's actually a lot of people out there that are receiving these touches and are starting to wake up and remember that they actually are a part of nature. And they do remember
Yeah.
how to connect with nature and with the plants and the trees. So it's happening. It is happening. And it gives me hope. And
Yeah, and
there's
I,
some pretty massive challenges going down right now. And so that's the
oh
other thing
yeah, oh
they're doing
yeah,
is they're helping us
yeah,
to adapt, helping us to adapt to a changing environment. And I'm saying environment on all levels, not just the
yeah,
environment. I mean on all the levels that they're helping us to adapt to be able to do that so we don't get sick. To put it bluntly. So
sure.
they're yeah, they're really stepping it up.
It's amazing and it's needed. And part of me, I know this is not one of the questions I sent to you in advance, is
Doesn't
I know
matter.
there's so
I can
much.
talk till I'm blue in
That's
the
all
face.
right.
You know that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but I know there's a lot of energy coming in from off planet to support us. And
Yes.
the trees are antennae. The trees are receiving a lot of energy from off planet and they're anchoring it way down into theirs. I would say all the way to Mother Gaia's heart. Um, and to me, it's a much greater community that's happening that is stimulating this, that is activating it. Uh, I'm just curious if you have any thoughts about that.
Oh, of course I do.
Yay.
Well, okay, here's my understanding about what's going on with the trees is that they work in both they go in both directions. So they're both antenna to the cosmos. They got their antennas out that way, but they also go deep into the earth too. And there's the whole the mycelium network, which most folks are starting to learn about that network of communication through the mycelium, and the deep roots of the trees. So up until, oh, I don't know, a few years ago, I'm going to say maybe mm, 10, 15 years now, 10 years for sure. There's been this, what the trees have been receiving from the cosmic beings and all of the life out there is like, yeah, I'm not so sure. Yeah, I don't know what's going on that planet Earth. I don't know if they really deserve to be helped out. I don't know about that. And there's been a whole lot of work being done with trees in the last decade by different groups of people. And and this whole thing that we've been talking about here of like kind of waking up to realizing, oh no, actually we are a part of nature. And so what's coming in through the trees now is that the cosmic forces, the cosmic beings are like, oh, okay, well maybe they're worth it after all. Maybe, and so
Oh,
there-
interesting.
there- there's a reason why the door is kind of opening on the ET situation right now, on the realization like, oh, there is life in the universe besides here. Really? Oh, yes. Um, so, so, um, so what's happening is there's starting to be again, and you were here for you were here for Ladies Mantle? Were you here for Ladies Mantle? Were you?
No, it was elder.
Oh, it was Elder. Oh, okay. Because Ladies
Yeah.
Mantle brought in the whole thing with the gold frequency, which is coming from the cosmos. And so the gold frequency that's now flooding the planet and the light that's coming from that particular frequency. So the message here and what's happening is we're getting help from a lot of directions, from a lot
Yes.
of different areas, including now we got the cosmic forces, we got the cosmic beings on board. Apparently, according to the trees, that's the message is coming from the trees now, is like, okay, they're on board.
Wow.
And we just kind of got keep feeding them all the good juju, all the good energy that's happening here. So yeah. So again, more good news. Yeah, I could write a good,
Yeah, yeah.
good night.
Thank you. I was curious what information you had about that. So that kind of is a good segue to this reality. I'll say it this way, as you write about in your book, Co-Creating with Nature, we are designed to be enlightened. what does this, can you explain more about that?
Yes, I can. Um, well, at conception, not birth, but conception, at conception, it's been recorded. Actually, you can probably Google it up and see it. There's a flash of light that some would say is 10 times the amount of light of the sun. I'm like, really? But there's a flash of light. And then at conception, we start to make cells, multiply, like very rapidly. We start becoming little beings. And at the nucleus, which is the DNA level, all of our cells are what's called biophotons. It's particles of light. And we're talking like up to thick 30. Oh, I think the largest number, and this is probably in the male population, a little less in females because we tend to be smaller creatures than males. Um, like 36 trillion cells, some astronomical amount of cells,
Mhm.
all with points of light at the nucleus. So, uh, and biophotons, it's been proven now that scientifically speaking, the biophotons in the biological world is one of the foundational ways in which communication takes place. So what happens here is that my biophotons and a plant's, this orchid's biophotons or your biophotons make when we are going what's called coherence. When we go into coherence, what that does is it makes a beam of light. And on this beam of light, communication travels. So it's the way in which we make the connection is on this beam of light. So in our design, we're born into light. We have light at the nucleus of every single 36 thousandth trillionth cell, 36 trillionth cell. We
Oh.
are radiating light. We we our original blueprint is one of radiance, is one of light. And the really interesting, so here's the other piece of all this is that we have two intact strands of DNA. We have the capacity for 12. We have enough DNA within the nucleus of every cell to make 12 intact strands. And when those strands become intact, they are able to make this beam of light. Otherwise, it's just a point of light, and points of light aren't. So anyway, with internally, I'm talking. So
Hmm.
we make these
Hmm.
beams of light internally, which that's what makes all the communication. That's what the coherence with the brain and the heart and the gut. Okay, those are, we could get into big long stories about all this. I'll try to keep it. So,
Okay. Yeah.
so here we have almost 90% of our DNA is not encoded either. It's not encoded. There's no inherited genes that goes with it. It's not encoded and it's not in a strand. So we have the ability right now to encode the DNA that makes the beams, that makes the strands, that make the beams internally. We can make the beams externally without it. And we can do that epigenetically. So epigenetics is when your behavior, your intentions, your thoughts, your actions, what your environment is like, what kind of an environment you live in, what you surround yourself with, all of that goes into gene expression without altering the DNA.
Hmm.
And that can happen in one generation. all the studies in epigenetics show that epigenetically speaking, we can change the gene expression in one generation. It does not take millions of years for this to change. The point I'm trying to make here is that our original blueprint is one of being enlightened. We are an enlightened being. And part of what's happening is when all this DNA comes back into the double helix spiral, some would say, some medical people are saying that it will be more like 3 strands of DNA. So four threes instead of 6 twos. I'm not sure why, what difference that makes.
Huh.
There might be something if that's
Right.
what actually happens. I'm not sure, unless it has to do with the Trinity, and everything's in a Trinity. There's so many threes, a lot of threes. And so that makes me think, well, maybe it's because it's the original thing, it has to do with keeping everything is in a trinity. So, okay.
Fascinating.
So the point being here, I'll try to bring it in, Pam, is that we were designed, our original blueprint, our original design is brilliance, original brilliance. We are designed to be enlightened. And we have
Mm,
this capacity. So I feel like what part of what these plants are doing in this initiation process is that they're helping us to line up the DNA. That's what I think is.
fascinating.
And
You
that's,
know, I
I, I don't say that
go
out
ahead.
loud too much because, I can't back that up. But that's what it seems like to me, is that it's when that's part of the intactness. We've been something happened somewhere along the line, and that DNA got split asunder. Maybe it was intact at one point. I'm not sure. But right now it's not intact. And that's part of the intactness, is like when all that DNA is lined up into these spirals where these that's where the coherence is, then we become enlightened. What term means, enlightened. We become fully enlightened then. But we
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
have that capacity.
And I think it's perfectly beautiful and fine to talk about this as the potential, the direction we're headed in. But so the DNA in the trees, do you know anything about that? Is that also split asunder other than one strand?
Oh, that's a very good question. I don't think so. And all the reason I'm saying that is, I mean, plants and trees, they're just being themselves. They're just being plants and trees. Whereas we're trying to be
Right.
something that we're not. We're being these, like, living in the shadows mostly. And instead of living in the light, I mean, if who we truly are is to be enlightened beings, we're not doing that. We're living in the dark or in the shadow. I don't
Yeah.
want to demonize dark because half of our life is dark. We have nighttime. So I'll
Well,
say
yeah,
that,
and I say
living in that shadowy
density, but
place, you know?
yeah, yeah,
So trees aren't doing that. Plants aren't
yeah.
doing that. They're living
Yeah, I mean
according to
that,
the essential nature.
yes, which I love the idea that, well, then, trees and plants, nature spirits, and they don't have a shadow side.
Mm.
But I don't want to get into all that. I mean, it just sort of came forward as a thought. I just want to read something from Diani Wahu's website. You probably know she is the Sunray Meditations. She's an incredible Cherokee medicine woman and Buddhist teacher. More than a teacher. And this is a quote: Indigenous wisdom has shared for millennia, and what some scientists now affirm, that light is not only physical energy, it is the very expression of consciousness itself. Everything that exists, from the smallest seed to the farthest star, is made of this luminosity. And to me, then I take it to the place of, and that light is imbued with divine love. That's at the very core of all of it, is love. Uh, it just, anyway, I'm looking at the time. Um, So I wanted to ask you about you did a really short and very beautiful video that was on Facebook, and I posted it around yesterday saying, still time to register. This is the amazing woman who's going to be speaking. And you spoke about St. John's wort. And first thing I want to ask you is, so your rapport with the plants is so deep. I know the plant devas love you. All those realms just adore you. And when you say they have your back, they really have your back. So you were saying that that St. John's wort plant wasn't there the year before and it just appeared, right? In your garden? Yeah.
This year, there's even more St. John's wort. There's so much St. John's wort this year. Last year, there wasn't hardly any, you know? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kind of like, okay, you've got my attention. You've gotten my attention. What? And
Have they
this
said
is
we want
like
to be
one of the
the
plants that's
initiation
like,
focus? Oh, sorry.
well, I'm kind of I'm perking my ears up now to say who's trying to get my attention for the initiation for next year. And so St. John's wort is definitely in the running because there's so much of
It's
it.
a competitive
Now,
field.
yeah, no, it's kind of like but this is a huge plant with light. I mean, this is a huge
Please
plant.
share.
It just
Yeah,
brings
please share.
so much light. And so I look at that and go, okay, I hear you. Okay, I know. We need to we need to just continue to lighten up. Yes, I hear you. And so yeah, I mean, that's always well, there's a lot of things, messages that come from St. John's wort, but that's a big piece, a big piece.
And you
So that was
call it because one of the ways that I know you teach people to communicate with plants is tune into them, if I may word it that way, and see what kind of frequency or what do you feel, and you give it a handle, like you give that a name. And you were calling, or you do call St. John's wort, what is it? Liquid luminosity or something, or
liquid light.
liquid
Yeah, that's my
light.
handle is
Yeah.
liquid light. It's like, and it's called a felt sensation. It's like you receive the felt, the vibratory resonance of the plant. You receive it in your body as it's called a felt sensation, which you put a handle on. You
Okay.
put words to it or a posture maybe, but so you can identify what the vibratory resonance of the plant is. Your body's very good at identifying those kinds of things. So what the sense of it is to me, it's like I do the expression like it's like a pitcher, I have a pitcher above my head, a container, a pitcher container, and I'm pouring this liquid light into my energy body. And so that's what it feels like to me. The sensation that I receive in my body is like something pouring into me that fills my whole energy body. But it's
Mm,
light that's being poured into me. It's not
mhm.
water. It moves, but it's not wet. If that makes any
Well,
anyway.
yeah, because energy moves. No, I
Yeah,
get that.
energy. It's like energy moving. I can feel it moving. But when I filled up with that, it's just kind of like, ooh, I'm sparkly. I'm all sparkly.
And
My
the,
husband,
a
my
lot of
husband coined this word in sparklation, and so that's what I'll say. I'm unsparkulated.
oh, I love it. I love it. I mean, and people have known, herbalists have known for a long time that St. John's wort is really good for treating depression,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that in our society with all the heaviness. So I have a fun question for you. Because I love to call out to the devas of being at time. I'm not as skilled as you are with tuning into I forget the term you just used. I want to say the frequency, anyway.
Felt sensation?
Uh, yeah, felt sensation. Is it possible for us in this moment to even call on the deva of St. John's wort, do you think, so that everyone in our collective here online and getting the recording may receive some insparklation?
Sure. Why not?
Do you want to do that?
Do I want to do that? Sure, I can do that. Yeah.
Oh, that
Or
would
do
be
you?
fun.
You
I'll
maybe do
support
want to
you.
do that because you sound like you're pretty excited about this.
Well, I'm just dropping this on you totally unannounced. So, but
Okay.
your rapport with the plants is closer than mine. I think that's a given. So, floor is yours
Okay,
if
so
you
let
feel
me
up
ask
to
you
it.
this question. Would you prefer we do something with St. John's wort than the other thing you asked me? Or you want to do both? The other
Oh.
meditation.
Gosh. Well, I wasn't think that St. John's Wort experience would take that long,
Oh, okay.
honestly.
You want it
But
to be short. Okay. Just checking.
yeah, just like a sparkle, a sparkle.
Okay.
Maybe
All
I'm
right.
asking too much.
All right. So everybody just take a minute here and take a nice deep breath and just relax for a minute. And I want for you to begin to remember who you really are. And we're going to have help with remembering who we really are. We're going to bring in the St. John's wort plant, otherwise known as Hypericum perforatum. And if you don't know what this plant looks like, you can just, in your mind's eye, see a bunch of small clusters, many, many little yellow flowers covering the entire plant. Lots of very bright yellow. And asking St. John's wort to come and fill you full of light. And it can come in whatever way you receive it. It can be liquid light being poured down through the top of your head. It can be threads of light that weave a cloak around you and through you. It can be light that comes in the form of energy. It feels like energy surrounding you. And oftentimes with light, you feel a warm glow. Sense this warm glow moving throughout your entire physical and energetic body. And see how this light penetrates into all the nooks and crannies and corners of your beingness. It finds those places within you that perhaps haven't experienced the light in a long time. Let the light just flood through your whole beingness. Feel how good it feels to have light pulsing throughout your whole beingness. Feel how unsparkulated you feel, that you actually shimmer with light. you can feel and see the shimmer. And giving thanks to St. John's wort for bringing you this moment of enlightenment. Knowing that you can call upon St. John's wort at any time when you would like to experience being filled with light in this way. One more nice deep breath and deep gratitudes to St. John's wort. Thank you very much.
You are fabulous.
You know, plants work outside of time and space. So I should say plant spirits work outside of time and space. So you can call upon plants at any given moment. And
Yeah.
so this is one of the ways in which I do it is I receive that felt sensation from the plant. I identify it in my body. I put a handle on it. And when I want St. John's wort to fill me full of light, I'm like, okay, liquid light. And boom, we're there. That's how I do it. So
Uh-huh.
others may call upon plants in a different way, but that's how I do it. So
Beautiful.
yeah.
So if you don't mind, I would love to just get a thumbs up of everybody. If your video's on, maybe your video's not on. Who felt something with that? Thumbs up. I'm seeing thumbs coming up. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Yeah. All right. So thank you, Pam, for allowing me to just drop that on you. I had a sense you would just flow with it. You just knew what to do, of course. Um, so there was one other question here. Hold on. I'm looking for our next iteration of spiritual awakening, the New Earth story. Is there anything you want to oh, David, if you have a question, can you wait to the end? See, like your hand is raised. I don't know if you meant to do that. Okay. Um, is there anything else? Because we do want to do this meditation if you're still up for it. I hope you are. Uh, but the New Earth story, I mean, I'd love to know,
Yeah.
are the plants talking to you about the New Earth story?
Well, they're a part of it. So so
Well,
yeah.
for real. Yeah. There's that.
Yeah. Well, there's this
Big part.
whole term now, which came actually originally from Thich Nhat Hanh, Vietnamese monk, Buddhist monk, and he coined the word interbeing. And interbeing basically is interconnectedness. It's like we're all connected. It's all connected. All of us, all of nature, all humans, all of it is connected. And um, and there's a interdependence actually on each other too. We can't really live here in a vacuum. We need to be connected. It's part of the deal.
Mm,
And
mhm,
the other piece of interbeing, the word they're using is interpenetration. I know that sounds like a strange word, but basically what that means is what we just did. It's the merge. It's being able to actually merge with the rest of life. So that's like, whoa, that's pretty amazing. So, so, but I
mm,
realized like this whole interbeingness that it's like we, I mean, when you even just look at what goes on inside our, I mean, how many like little creatures like live in our body, like bacteria and the microbiome and the gut, all that. I mean, it's an astronomical amount of other beings that live inside us, and it's all part of the mix. We need them. We need them to be inside our guts. Otherwise, we're not healthy. So this
Yeah.
whole idea of interbeing is profound, and I'm realizing that the new earth story is about interbeing and being in that way of operating in that way, interbeing way, and the plants play a very huge part of it. I mean, they're teaching us, I feel like they're teaching us or guiding us right now into how to do this interpenetration thing. I'm going to use the word merging because that's what it feels like to me. But yeah, so I think that there is so much potential. We are living with so much potential, and we really are right on the cusp. We're
Mm.
just like hanging right on the cusp right now. And I
Mhm.
feel like as each one of us jumps our consciousness up to the next level. It's like the 100th monkey. When you reach the 100th monkey, when you reach that level of mass consciousness, and it raises to and then it just goes up one more notch because one person, one person raised their consciousness just a little bit more. It was enough to make the whole species leap, a quantum leap in consciousness. And every single one of us has that capacity.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Some people talk about the 144,000 light workers. I say love workers, but light workers. Anyway, yes,
it's the
huge
same idea.
yes.
Yeah, it's the same idea.
Yes. So I'm looking at the time, and I knew this was going to go really fast because you have so much to share. But why don't we shift into the meditation
Okay.
that you were going to lead? And thank you for doing that on top of the golden wort, no, golden wort. You could sing. Um,
Oh, is that what you're calling it? Golden word. I like that.
and that's what I'm calling it now. That just came out of my mouth.
I
St.
love it.
John's wort.
I love it. No,
Nickname.
I like
Maybe
it.
that's
Golden
my
word. That's
handle.
beautiful. Well, it's really beautiful. Yeah. And of course, well, okay. Yeah, I know. Time. Could launch into another thing about
Yeah,
St.
there's that.
I mean, it's called St. John's wort because it blooms around St. John's Day. So which is near solstice, of course, summer solstice. So it's a solstice plant.
Okay.
It's still blooming
Okay.
here.
Back.
It is still, I mean, here we are at the end of July, whereas, it blooms at solstice time. Well, a month later, it is still massively in full bloom. It's going for it this year. So,
Well, it's your garden, so it doesn't surprise me.
well, I don't know what I mean. Everything is megalithic this year. I mean, the Angelica is 12 feet tall. I mean, it's so tall. And I'm just kind of like, wow, there is so much growth this year. It's quite phenomenal. So anyway,
Oh gosh.
but it's been a
Anyway,
you know,
yeah, please.
it's been a big, good growing season. There's been plenty enough rain. So yeah.
Well,
Okay,
I have
everybody.
to just say this, and I know you want to lead this. I'm sorry, but the nature spirits must love, love, love your garden and everything you're doing. So you're getting so much support from so many multidimensional realms. So
Yes, it's
anyway, on that note, please lead the meditation. Thank you.
well, I leave them presents. I feed them. I put little plates of food out for them. So they really like me.
Yeah, I would say. I'll keep my mouth shut now.
Okay. Okay, everybody. So we're going to do a guided meditation now. So you need to get yourself comfortable, however that might be. If you'd like to sit up, that's fine. If you want to lay down, that's fine. If you want to turn your screen off, because that's a distraction, you can do that. Whatever it is to make yourself comfortable, please do that now. And then we'll do our meditation. Okay, so we want to take a couple nice deep breaths. And I would like you to breathe in peace and calm, and breathe out any tension or anxiety or stress that you might be feeling or carrying with you. Breathing in peace and calm, and breathing out any tension. Breathing in peace and calm, and breathing out any tension. You find yourself sitting around a fire on a warm summer night. The fire is burning brightly with flames licking the air. You sit quietly and listen to the crackle of the flames as the logs rearrange themselves. You notice the different colors in the flames: orange, blue, and a touch of green. As your eyes begin to adjust to the night darkness and the bright light of the fire, you notice that there are other beings sitting around the circle. They are magnificently attired in beautiful garb, with light-filled gems and mandalas adorning them, while flowers and leaves and vines and twigs are interwoven into their very beingness. Take in the specialness of these magnificent beings and their incredible beauty. It's an awesome sight. You feel so grateful and honored to be in their presence. The eldest steps forward and says to you, "Welcome, dear one. We're so glad you are joining us in circle tonight, as we have much to share. I am Una, the first herb. Others might call me Artemisia, while you might call me mugwort. We've gathered here tonight to help you begin to weave your DNA bits into threads of intact strands so that all of your light can become coherent, shining brightly while reflecting your original brilliance. I have invited my sister and brother plants to join in this weaving as they begin to encode these newly intact strands with qualities that support the new Earth story. And now, allow yourself to be in the dream of spiritual awakening by becoming more enlightened and creating a reality with the life-giving expressions that support all of life to thrive. Lavender, with calm presence, encodes the gifts of peace and beauty. Allow yourself to take in peace and beauty. Tulsi, or sacred basil, who easily adapts, encodes the gifts of cooperation and sacredness. Allow yourself to take in cooperation and sacredness. Motherwort, who relieves anxiety, encodes courage and happiness. Allow yourself to take in courage and happiness. Lady's mantle, the alchemist who turns the base into gold, cruelty into kindness, and the mundane into the miraculous, encodes the gift of the gold frequency within which the feminine can rise. Allow yourself to take in the gold frequency. And Hawthorne, who heals our hearts, reminds us that our life is a spiritual pilgrimage and encodes unity consciousness and interbeing. Allow taking in unity consciousness and interbeing. There are others who are here in this circle that you can invite into your dream time to continue to weave together the thread of intactness while encoding qualities to bring about a bright future where all beings, human and non-human, can thrive. Weaving together all the threads of light that make the tapestry, that help to encode the DNA, that bring intactness and coherence, and so much love that is infused in all of it. Here, where you can live according to your true essential nature, filled with love and joy and peace as a spiritually awakened and enlightened being. As we move more fully into co-creative partnership with plants and trees, we realize that they are guiding us into being the keystone species that can create paradise on this sweet Lady Gaia. This paradise we know is possible because we have all seen it in our dreams. And with the help of the plants, it becomes not only possible, but probable. So let's let our dreams be big ones. Dream big. And now being very gentle with yourself, coming back into your body and back into your space, and being in deep gratitude for this opportunity.
Thank you, Pam.
You're welcome.
So we're going to open this up for questions for Pam, and you can raise your hand using the little icon at the bottom of the bar under the React bar. Uh, or you could post a question in the chat. So please, please, and while people may be getting ready to put the questions together or typing them in, I'm going to drop a link in the chat that is the link to Pam's free, which is really generous, 3-session teaching on how to communicate with plants. All right, so we have a question from Willix. Hold on, let me open that up all the way. There are those who claim that our DNA was manipulated and hacked down from 12 strands to 2 strands. Based on what Pam is saying, could it be possible that we started with 2 strands, but with the potential to develop the unexpressed DNA, and our spiritual evolutionary goal has always been to grow our 2 strands seed, quote unquote, DNA into our full 12-strand DNA as a part of our um, organic self-evolutionary spiritual enlightenment? It's a big question.
Good one. Okay, is that all of it?
Yeah, that's enough right there, I think.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure that I quite got all of that, but I think what's being asked is um, are we seeding seeding the 12-strand DNA?
Well, what he was saying was, based on what Pam is saying, could it be possible that we started with 2 strands instead of 12 strands? I'm putting some words in there, with the potential to develop the unexpressed DNA. I know you're not a DNA scientist, so this is a
No, I'm
big
not.
question for
But
you.
I mean,
So,
I try to
what,
glean what I can from the science, but
yeah,
I realize that some of this is my thoughts too. Um, so can um, can we actually ask Willix? He's right here to like, if you could, yeah,
yeah. Oh,
you
Willix,
talk.
wait, you're unmuted. Go ahead,
Can
Willix. Sorry.
can you hear
Go.
me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, there was something that you said in your discussion about the DNA that when you said it, I thought about, we starting out just like plants. We start out as a little seed and we grow and we develop. We don't come in, fully developed human beings. We grow as from babies and whatnot. And so there's a lot of people there's a lot of people that claim that we were these highly evolved spiritual beings, and then we got hacked and our DNA was hacked for, to enslave humanity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All those narratives. But what you said just kind of triggered in me like the idea that perhaps we started out as with just 2 strands, perhaps.
Mhm.
And our goal was to unfold into 12-strand beings, with all the other spiritual, benefits and potentials that come along with that. And I was just wondering if that is a possibility, other than the other narrative that we've been sold, for so long that we were downgraded.
Right. I absolutely think it's possible. Yes. So yeah, I've wondered about that whole hypothesis that, we started out with 12 strands and then something happened, and I've always been like, well, okay, but what in the world could that have been? And I don't like the narrative of being manipulated or taken over or all that stuff. It just is a little bit like, really? But wait a minute. If we're designed to be enlightened, like, wait a second. I kind of like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense to me. If we're our actual blueprint, if the blueprint really is to be enlightened, well, then that potential is always there because all that DNA is still there. It's just not intact. So, and from what I'm also seeing is like there are more strands becoming intact right now. I mean, all the stories of the blue babies and the, children that are being born with more intact strands of DNA. That is happening. So I feel like I'm kind of more with you. I'm kind of more in that camp that yes, that this is our potential. And here we are now, and we're starting to wake up to it. And I think that it will happen quickly. So that's the other key thing here is the whole thing about epigenetics, which has fairly recently come to light as an understanding of how it can happen without it taking millions of years. So that all makes a whole lot of sense to me too. And that that's kind of part of what these times that we're in are all about is that this is not going to take millions of years. So anyway, thanks for bringing that up. That's a great one actually to bring up.
Okay, thank you.
That's a really big question. Thank
Yeah.
you, Alex. And I just want to
Let me
add,
just say one more thing because it takes it out of
yeah,
that place of being victimized. It's like, really? So thank you.
uh, keep flying. Um, so Karen has a question. I'm wondering what part you think children, especially young girls, have to play in bringing the new earth forward.
Well, everything. I'm sorry. A lot. Um, well, the gold frequency that came through with Ladies Mantle was all about that. Was all about it was about the feminine rising, but it was a lot of it was about the young women kind of coming into their own much more quickly, say, than my generation, which, I'm an old dog now, it feels like. And, it took a while for a bunch of us to come around. But boy, oh boy, so many, like these initiations I'm doing, I'm telling you, there's 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds. I mean, there's young people coming to them now, these women. And I'm like, wow, they're like really far along already. This is great. So, um, yeah, I absolutely think this is the time of the feminine rising for sure. And a lot of it is going to involve very young ones. That's where the hope.
And if I may add, um, there's so many souls coming into the planet right now who are incredibly highly evolved.
Yeah.
I didn't know about their DNA strands being more intact. That just validates it. Um, Interesting. So there's another question. It's really a broader question, but I like the way it's worded. Thank you, Helen. How can we work with indoor pot plants or any indoor plant?
Um, you can work with them the same as a wild plant or as an outdoor plant. I mean, I mean, they are, let's see. Some of them have been hybridized, of course. So a lot of these plants have been hybridized. So can you be more specific? Like, are you asking, what are you asking exactly? Be a little more specific.
Helen, do you want to unmute yourself or maybe write a little bit more in the chat? Hmm.
I don't see Helen on the screen. She must be some other page. Oh,
What can we do each day to more strongly connect with them?
okay. Well, I mean, it's no different than any other plant. So I would start at square one, which is breathe with the plants. That's a given. That's easy for everybody to do. If you don't know where to begin, start with what you've got. And what you've got is breathing. And so you bring it into conscious awareness that you're breathing with another being. So you're breathing in oxygen that this plant is breathing out. and you're breathing out carbon dioxide, which the plant is breathing in. So this is an exchange of breath all the time. When you bring it into conscious awareness, it starts, you start to realize, oh, I'm already in relationship with this plant. Now I'm going to build it into a co-creative partnership, which the extension of that is these plants become your beloveds. And I'm serious about that. They become like your beloveds. But you're already in relationship because you breathe. So just start there. Begin with a conscious breathing with your house plants. And then the felt sensation that I talked about, that we talked about with St. John's wort. So then you want to sit with the plant. And the other thing about plants is plants have a greater ability to fine tune their resonance to you than you do to them. That's all been proven. And so just get your ego and all that thinks that you're going to control the whole situation, get it out of the way and let the plant fine tune its resonance to you. And you will start to feel it, experience it somewhere in your body as a sensation, not an emotion, that comes later, a sensation. Sensations are, maybe fluttering in your heart, tingling in your hands, warmth in your belly. Those are sensations. Feeling like liquid light is going through my whole body. That's a sensation. So you want to allow yourself to feel the sensation, kind of bounce it back and forth. And and it's called focusing. This whole thing is called focusing to receive this felt sensation. So you want to focus it. So you want to take it from way out here. So for example, you're feeling soft. You're feeling softness. The air feels soft, your skin feels soft, your clothes feel soft. Everything is soft, soft, soft. Okay, soft is way out here. What kind of soft? Is it soft as silk? Is it soft as velvet? Is it soft like creamy butter? What kind of soft is it? And you kind of hone in and you kind of bounce that off the plant. It's like soft like silk, soft like velvet, and what's the ping? What pings? Your heart pings when it's like, yeah, yes, that's it. That's it. So what's the ping? And so you focus that felt sensation, which is the vibratory resonance of the plant. You focus that, you put a handle on it. Oh, that's soft as butter. It's really creamy. That's soft as butter. And that's your handle. And the next time you want to make that connection, soft as butter, and you can feel it right there. You know what it feels like. Oh, yeah, there we are. And you're connected. And then you start to have a two-way exchange. Now, these words that come out of our mouth, these sounds we make out of our mouth, that's how we communicate. Plants do not communicate in the same way. The foundational way all communication takes place in the biological world, which we have this ability to, is through light and sound and the vibratory resonance that it carries. And we can go beyond the visual spectrum and the sound spectrum. We hear and see in narrow bands, but there's more than that out here. So we can experience that as well. And so you might hear words in your head because that's what's familiar, but that is not that's a translation of the vibratory resonance, the light and sound from the plant. You pay attention to everything that's going on around you. It's called being in the daydream of the plant. You are part of the plant's daydream. It's not your daydream, it's the plant's daydream, and you happen to be in it. Well, there's a whole lot of other stuff that's in it too. On that particular day, at that particular situation, you pay attention to everything. You pay attention to the little children laughing next door in their yard playing. You pay attention to, you might be outside, to the three hawks circling overhead. You pay attention to that wind that whoosh, you had a thought that went through and then a wind went, whoosh. Okay, affirmation. So you pay attention to everything. Nothing is coincidence or haphazard. So what happens is it's like pieces of the puzzle. You get an emotional response to the felt sensation. You start to have memories, some from this lifetime, maybe some from another lifetime. You have memories. All of it is significant. And you start to put it, it's like puzzle pieces. You start to put it all together and it starts to make a picture. In like a very short description, that's what you do. to begin.
Wow, fabulous.
And if you
And
didn't catch all that, then
there's a
I'm
recording.
well, it's being recorded. That's
And
right.
get
It's all
her
being
book.
recorded. You can read
It's
about
all
it.
been
I've written
recorded,
quite a bit about this. So in both Plant Spirit Healing and in my new one, Co-Creating with Nature.
which I really hope everybody gets. So Helen had one quick other question, and then Daniela, I know you're waiting. Should we touch them, the plants?
Oh, yeah. They love to be touched. Don't you like to be touched? Plants love to be touched. And they like to be sung to and played music to. Like if you play an instrument, play to them. They love that. And they really like being sung to. So yeah, absolutely. Interact as much as you can.
You know, I'm kind of chuckling right now because the very first plant that I heard speak to me was a gardenia. And what she said was, I don't like to be touched. She was incredibly arrogant, but she was the exception, you know? So,
Okay. Well,
yes,
hey, you got to listen to what they say. Who knows?
that's what she said. And she was really kind of an obnoxious plant, like the Queen of England. Not that I don't like the Queen. Um, so Danalia has a question. Did you want to unmute yourself, Danalia? And we'll go like just another 4 or 5 minutes. Is that okay with you, Pam?
That's
And
fine.
then we'll wrap it up. It is Sunday afternoon. Uh, we all needed to relax. All right, go
Beautiful.
ahead, Danalia.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pam. Beautiful, beautiful to hear you speak on such a broad range of application of where we are right now. It's really wonderful. Thank you. I just was, as I put in the chat, following Hamas, the olive trees came forward in a listening field. This is a group field that I've been creating with humans and nature elders. And they are the essence, they're the vibratory essence of peace as a tree. And so I was really happy to hear you say that lavender also has that inner peace. So my question was, well, one, I was happy to hear that. And two, are there any other plants that you've come across that sort of express that frequency of peace, but uniquely in their way? Just curious.
Well, there's white pine, of course, which is the tree of peace. That's what it's called. The white pine tree was, well, the story behind it is that the expression bury the hatchet came from the white pine tree. And it was one of the origination stories with white pine with the native tribes here in the US, which created the Iroquois Confederacy. So that is a huge peace tree. And yeah, one that I've worked with in that way a lot. White pine is like one of my main personal allies. So I'm pretty partial to white pine. But yeah, that's a
Beautiful.
big one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
That
yeah.
reminder, right? Okay. Beautiful.
Okay, so thanks, Danalia. Marcia has a question. Is it possible at all about another plant initiation course this year?
Not this year. There's just no more time. I mean, there's no more time in my life because then I go to England in the beginning of September to begin this facilitator training. It starts beginning of September. So let's see. There are other people doing initiations. There's one in France with Rose. That's going to be really lovely. And there's one in Maine with Tulsi, otherwise known as Sacred Basil. And that's coming up soon. That's sometime here in the next few weeks here in July. Now, where are we? Are
So
we
who are
still
leading
in July?
those? How can
Oh, wait a minute.
somebody
No,
lead
it's in
into July?
August. I'm sorry. We're almost done with July. Yeah, it's in August. It's on my website. So go to my website and you can see where the two that I have that I know of that are still happening this year.
Ah, okay, okay. Waking up to nature dot
Up to nature, wakeuptonature.com.
wakeup.com. And then somebody asked a question, Anne Hurley, is what about violet?
Oh, well, violet's another lovely plant. Um, what are you asking? You want to know what violet's all about, or what are you specifically asking? Are you asking something specific?
A peaceful plant.
Oh, whether it's a peaceful plant. Um, um, I mean, in some ways they're all peaceful except for gardenia. Um,
That one, only that
oh,
one.
that one. Um, my experience with violet has been that it really helps heal wounds of the family, familial. That's a hard word to say. Familial wounds. So the wounds that come through your family. I know none of you have any of those, so I'm
Ugh,
I'm being I'm being a smart
right.
now saying that. So which I would say if you can be healing some of those family wounds, that could bring a lot of peace. Depends on how you look at it, really.
Mm.
Do I look at it as like, oh, it's one of the peace plants? Not necessarily. But it brings peace when you're able to heal those heavy duty wounds. There is,
Okay,
there
tell
is
me your.
peace lily.
All
That's
right.
kind of another one that's I haven't done a lot of work with the peace lily, but other people have. So I would investigate that one for sure. I mean, how did it get that name is my question.
Thank you, Pam. Your website again, wakeuptonature.com, right?
Wakeuptonature.com. Yeah.
Okay, great. So please go to Pam's website. Please just devour everything she has there. And if you want to do a plant spirit initiation this season, then she's got some listed there she was mentioning. I think we need to wrap it up. Wow. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. This has been
Well, you're
incredibly
welcome.
rich.
Yeah.
And to everybody who joined us, please get her book and her other books. They will change your life. And this free communicating with plants webinar, I mean, that's a deal. Go out there and love up the plants. They are beloveds. And we're all part of the web of love. I'm just going to leave on that note. Is there anything else you want to say, Pam?
Oh, I'm just so grateful for being here. Thank you so much, Mayor, for asking me. And I'm, me, I can talk about plants till the cows come home. So it's always fun.
Well, they're coming home right now, so we
They're
should get
coming home. They're
offline.
coming home. Yeah, they're coming home.
But Dana Leah has a quick point. I don't see the main event on your website. I will look again. I'm certain, is it,
Well,
it's
it's the
there?
Tulsi one. So if you go to the plant initiation, so underneath teaching or learning or whatever it says, under that drop down box, it says initiations, plant initiations. It's on that page.
Okay. Great, great.
Also.
Thank you. Much love to all of you. Pam, honoring you hugely. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
helping us wake up even more.
Yes,
And the
thank you.
plants, loving all them too, of course. All right. Everybody will get the replay. Bye.
Bye for